This is the ultimate guide to prong collars. I can easily say with fingertip pressure, hey bro, leave those chickens alone. They're not for you. Here's the prong collar and here's the martingale action. So I don't know where that came from, but the 1, 2, 4 finger test, play that game with your girlfriend. Don't play with that on the prong collar because it doesn't make any sense. All right, so there's many different types of prong collars. I'm gonna make this so simple for you. You need to get a Herm Sprenger and you need to get one that has a martingale style action. Let me show you what a martingale action is, not even using a prong collar. This is just a regular flat collar with a martingale action on top. This triangle setup you see before you is the martingale action. That allows you to lift in one spot, but it tightens up the whole collar. Now let me show that to you on a martingale actioned prong collar. So here's the prong collar and here's the martingale action. Same concept. Now, there's other prong collars out there, the Neck Tech, there's a Star Mark, which is a plastic version of the prong collar. There's hidden prong collars, there's so many different variations. Guess what, folks? Get the martingale action prong collar from Herm Sprenger, point blank period. That's what you want. That's gonna give you the most power, the most precision. It's exactly what you need. Everything else is just kind of there. All right, now we're gonna talk about different ways that you can connect your prong collar, basically take it on and off, which you're gonna be doing a lot, so we gotta get this part right. Starting with straight up old school method, no connection whatsoever, and simply pinching the prong to put it in and out. Now this is important. If you go with this old school method, which is tried, true, and tested, you've gotta make sure that you get the male part of the prong into the female part and don't miss the hole. That's what she said, and all jokes aside, if you just get one in, it looks like it's connected, right? This thing ain't connected. What if you just get one in like that? Now that's pretty obvious, but if you have a dog with thick fur, it might be tricky if they're wiggling and moving around to make sure you get it just right. Besides, the more that you do this, pinching it in and out, pinching it in and out, you can actually bend these in and they no longer hold their original shape and they're very easily to slide in and out. So you're just gonna have to come back through every once in a while and bend them back out so that they go back to their original shape. So nothing wrong with the old school method. Let's show you some other options. Some are great, some are horrible. Starting with horrible. The quick release. I hate this thing. It's not easy to put on and it's too easy to come off. So you're holding your dog like this. If you reach down to grab that collar, this thing can come right off just like that. And it's honestly not that easy to put on. It's a pain in the ass. So your dog's wiggling, you're trying to put this on, you go like this, he slips out, you're starting over. Just straight garbage. Take my word on it, folks. The quick release, don't use it. I don't even know why they make those anymore. What about a plastic buckle? We're not gonna find a plastic buckle on anything too decent. On a small dog with a micro prong like this, the plastic really doesn't bother me. We're talking a 5, 10, 15, maybe a 20-pound dog at most. Anything over that, I wouldn't trust the plastic because this will break and then we have a problem. Once again, dog running loose, bad things can happen. So avoid the plastic when you can. If it's a small dog, it's okay. Next up, you can find these on the internet, not bad at all. Use these for a while, I like them, but the problem is it's leather. Leather can age, wear, crack, dry out, and stretch. So it's better than nothing, but look at that quick release. You can't beat that. Easy on, easy off. It's hard to go in the wrong hole or miss it. It clips. Now that we've shown you all the options that we don't really like, let me tell you about an option that we absolutely recommend and we've been using for several years, and that is an all metal construction buckle. Absolutely bomb-proof. This thing has never failed me, nor any of our certified trainers, nor any of our thousands of customers worldwide. This buckle is the way to go. Now, why is that? First and foremost, it won't just come apart on its own. It's not a one push. You must push it on both sides. So your dog's not gonna be able to do that because your dog doesn't have thumbs. That's for sure. Secondly, it's not, if you grab it in any which way, it won't accidentally come undone. You can grab this all different ways. Only if you push it just right will it disconnect. Also, it will not fade over time, it will not stretch, it will not crack, and because it's all metal construction, this thing will not break. Your prong will fail before this buckle will ever fail. So we're really proud of this product. We happen to have our own logo on our custom designed buckles, and so we're very proud to offer this to all of our customers worldwide as the #1 solution for your prong collar, no matter what size prong collar you're going with. Anything from the smallest to the largest prong collar, except for the 4.0, because we don't believe in using the 4.0 for anything. Now, if you want to find out more about our buckles and other products that we highly recommend, we carry only the best selection of products on our website. Make sure to check the link in the description below if you want to get access to the best products on the market for your dog. In many things in life, bigger is better.
That's what she said.
But luckily for you, in this video, you can finally go home and tell your wife that it's not the size of the tool that matters, it's how you use it. Now, having said that, all jokes aside, this is a very serious conversation when it comes to the proper sizing. Which prong collar do you need for your dog? And before you, we have 5 different sizes. And I'm gonna answer for you now which prong collar gauge you need for your dog. Starting with the 4.0 millimeter. Now, unless you're a gangster and you want your dog to look cool, that's the only thing this thing is used for. I wouldn't even use this on a horse. Now, contrary to popular belief, the bigger the dog does not actually require the bigger the prong. Why? Because this is so big, it's so bulky, it's so blunt, it doesn't have the power steering, power brakes that we need in some of these smaller, more powerful gauge units. In other words, just throw this away, don't use it. And last but not least, you need tremendous grip strength in order to put this on and take this off. Just throw it away. Don't get the 4.0. Next up, the 3.2, baby, tried and true, been around for decades and decades. This is what we used in law enforcement. People still use it. It's awesome. What we like about this is it's very strong, right? It's not gonna likely bend or break, so you can use this on bigger, more powerful dogs. It also has the longer teeth, if you will. So if you have a dog like a husky or a chow chow, this is definitely gonna get through that fur and get to the skin where you need it to work. Now, having said that, this is still kind of blunt compared to these. So it's not the most powerful tool, it's just the strongest one. So we actually use this with dogs that are hypersensitive to the prong collar from maybe bad prong collar training, or they're just hypersensitive in general. We'll usually introduce the prong on this actually softer and more gentler version of the prong, the 3.2 millimeter. Next up, if you want a little more bite, a little more power steering, power brakes, we're talking about Brembo brakes, baby. The 2.25 millimeter Hermspringer. I love this one. I use this on about 90+% of dogs, anywhere from say 25 to 30 pounds, all the way up to 130 plus pounds or more. I've used this up to dogs that are about 200 pounds. It works. Now, having said that, why does it work? Because these are smaller, thinner, more like needle teeth. Think of like a little puppy and why their teeth are so sharp. They don't have the jaw strength to defend themselves, but they got those sharp little needle teeth that'll make you bleed and make you leave them alone. So that's why this works, because these are like sharp little needle teeth allowing you to steer and provide those power brakes to strong, powerful dogs without as much physical input. I'll give you a classic example. If we had a dog that, let's say, pulling really hard on the leash to go get something, maybe it's doing something it shouldn't be doing, going to eat, I don't know, a chicken bone on the ground. If I have to use a leash on a powerful, strong driven dog with the 3.2, I may have to deliver, for argument's sake, a level 5 pop. Out of 1 through 10, 10 being the hardest I could do, a level 5 to deliver the message and say, stop doing that dumb BS, you're gonna get yourself hurt. If I have to do it on a 5 on this, I can maybe get it done on a 2 to a 3 on this, so it requires less strength. Having said that, the obvious choice sounds like it would be this, right? Yes and no. Hermspringer wants you to know. It's a big disclaimer here, and I'm letting you know also, this tool is so awesome, so amazing. We've recommended it so much that you all went out there and did it. But just like this is a tool, many of you out there are a freaking tool, and you just slapped the tool on without knowing how to use it, which is a recipe for disaster. So what you do is you throw this on your very powerful dog, taking Uncle Garrett's advice, letting you know it's power steering, power brakes, but you don't use the tool properly, and you let your dog pull, drive, and these things bent and or they don't really break, but they bend and they pop loose, and now you have a loose dog, loose, powerful dog. We don't want that. So if you have a very powerful dog and you're gonna allow it to pull very hard, you should be steering towards, guess what? A hybrid of the two. And that's this beautiful thing right here called a 3.0 millimeter short. 3.0 short. It's the brand new product to their lineup. Actually was invented because we sent so many of you to get the 2.25s, and some of you dodo heads out there were letting them bend and then calling them saying, it bent. That's because you're not using it right. So they came out with this. It gives you the strength of the 3.0 and a little bit more bite closer to the 2.25. So it's a beautiful hybrid. It comes in black, stainless, all the colors that you might need. So don't let the color fool you. Now, both the 3.0 short and the 2.25 may not come in the size that you need for your dog's big old neck. This is 16 inches. I think this is about 18 inches. But what if your dog's neck's 20, 22, 24 inches? All you need to do is add more links. These are expandable both up and down. Now, if you need to add like 4, 5, or 6 links, maybe 8 links, you might as well just get a brand new collar, because it's actually cheaper sometimes just to get a second collar, cannibalize the links out of one to extend the length of the other one. Sometimes it's cheaper. If you only need a couple more links, then just buy the 3-pack. By the way, all of these tools are available on our website, and all of them are available with one of our bomb-proof buckles, making it easy on and off. All right, now having said that, last but certainly not least, the 1.5 Micro from Hermsprenger. Why do we use this? You already know. Little dog, 3 to 5 pounds, maybe up to 15, 20, 25 pounds. Anything more than 25 pounds, we're going back up to the 2.25. This obviously is a lot smaller, it's gonna fit their neck, and has the most bite. You say, well, Garrett, why do I need more bite on a smaller dog? This is why. Remember we talked about going from the 3.0 to 2.25, I wanna use less power. This allows me to use less than fingertip pressure to deliver the message, get that power steer and power brakes. And I don't know how to explain this enough, but we cannot use a level 5 leash pop on a Chihuahua or a Pomeranian. They'll fly through the room and out the window. We can't do that. This allows you to use micro level impulses on the leash to steer your dog's behavior, stop nonsense, and get the type of reliability and obedience that you need. So to summarize, throw the 4.0 out. You don't need it. You want to be somewhere between a 3.2, a 2.25, the 3.0 blender, the 3.0 short, or the 1.5. Every single one of these options here is going to be exactly what you need. It all just depends on the size of your dog and what your needs are. So the next question you're probably going to ask me is like, all right, Garrett, I know I need a prong collar, but when should I start putting a prong collar on my dog? Chances are, if you're going to have an average size dog, 50, 60 pounds and up, my suggestion to you is that there's going to come a day when you literally need the prong collar. And the day that you're going to need it, you're going to probably slap it on the dog and start using heavy corrections to fix all the issues that have built up to that point. In other words, I don't want you to wait till the dog is 2 years old, been jumping on people for forever, been causing a ruckus, and then now to try to make up for lost ground. If we introduce them to the prong collar at a young age so they're not afraid of it, and that when the day comes and I need it, I don't want to have to all but take his head off, giving him a huge level 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 correction to stop some behavior. Instead, I'd rather be able to say, I wouldn't drink that water, brother, and just use fingertip pressure to stop the nonsense. The best thing you can do is when you get this prong collar, don't even use it the first 10 times, 20 times you put it on. Put it on, take him for a walk, not using it. Let him know that, hey man, when I put the prong collar on, it's not a death sentence. It just means we're gonna go out and have a good time. Then by the time you go to need to use it, they're not stressed out by the tool. They look at it as like, hey man, prong collars are awesome and I hope you put that thing on me. There will come a time very soon for him where I'm like, oh bro, we need to use the prong collar. For instance, if you go after those chickens, I can easily say with fingertip pressure, hey bro, leave those chickens alone. They're not for you. There's better things for you to do, my man. So that's just a great example. Better to do the prep work now so that you can start using it in the very, very near future. All right, let's get back to the video. All right, so we had talked about it before, but one of the things you want to be careful of, especially if you're not using a buckle attachment, if you're doing the old method of just pinching it, after time, the pinch can actually make this thing kind of lose its original shape, making it very easy to slide in and out. See, no pinching needed, and that's not good. So what you'd want to do is come in and stretch it out, but it's hard to do on these 3.0s. One more reason we don't like using them, you can do it, probably have to get some stronger hands than I have, or at least get some type of pliers or something to go ahead and shape these back into shape, because you can't really run this one right now because it's so, it was maybe stepped on, I'm not exactly sure. But either way, always keep an eye on your prong collar. Every time you put it on, give it a quick check. What I like to do is spit it inside out, and you can kind of look at the different links, and oop, you'll see one that just doesn't look right. Folks, if you want to learn how to properly use the prong collar and make your dog be the best that they can be, I highly encourage you to check us out at DIYcanine.com. Help you train your dog from 0 to hero. We'll see you in the courses. All right, now that we discussed size, now we just got to figure out what material is best for you and your dog. Let me go over your options available. Chrome, Kurrigan, powder coated, black stainless, and then the little montage that we put together, which is just for fun and for looks, and we like the way it looks. Let's start with chrome. Don't use it. It's that simple. Chrome contains nickel. A lot of dogs' skins are allergic to nickel, and you can have a lot of irritation. Plus the chrome can crack, chip, fade, rust. Don't use it. Kurrigan, a fantastic option for dogs, especially ones with white fur, and you kind of get a discoloration sometimes when using certain metals. The Kurrigan is supposed to stop that, and it's a little more hypoallergenic. The problem with the Kurrigan is two things. Number one, it can fade over time. I don't mind that. It's kind of like a worn look, like a patina. I think it looks pretty cool. But the other issue I have, especially in the 2.25, I find the Kurrigan's just a little soft. I still use it. Just keep that in mind if you have a dog that's really strong, really hard, pulls a lot, and you plan to use heavier corrections. Kurrigan might not be your best choice, because I have seen on heavier corrections, the metal just bends a little bit too easy, a little too soft and pliable, but again, still a solid option. You can go powder coating, but it kind of like the same with chrome plating. The powder coating looks cool, but they don't stand up very well and they rust and what's underneath the powder coating. So it looks cute, but it doesn't really last. Now we're left with stainless, my favorite options. Regular stainless, black stainless, hypoallergenic naturally, you just pick your color. Now, why would you choose silver over black? There's two trains of thought on that. Number one, let's say you had a black coated dog. If you want to kind of go a little incognito and you don't feel like dealing with what people think about you having a prong collar on your dog or not, if you have a black prong collar on a black coated dog, it's hard to see, which is a bonus, but there's also a con to that. We don't want you to leave your prong collar on your dog forever. We don't want you to accidentally leave it on and put him in a crate. We'll talk about that more in a minute. And so I like to be able to look from a distance and very quickly tell whether or not I may have accidentally left a prong collar on a dog or not. We don't want to just leave them on. And so if we have a black coated dog and we have a silver or a stainless colored prong, I can tell instantly that the dog has it on or does not have it on. So that kind of pro and con can go either way depending upon the color of your coat, your dog's coat, and what you're trying to achieve. But either way, as far as how strong and hypoallergenic, you cannot go wrong with stainless. And then this one was just a fun montage that we used. This is Thanos' collar. It has Kurgan black stainless and regular stainless. I think it looks cool. Obviously, you're gonna have to buy at least 3 different collars to make that happen, but I like it, check it out. Now, what about putting rubber tips on? Absolutely not, completely stupid, I hate it. I'll tell you why. You're gonna lose the rubber tips, they're gonna wear, it's gonna break through anyways, and it doesn't do any good for you. All it does is cause more skin irritation because of allergies. Number 2, it causes more of like a rug burn type of sensation on the dog's neck and can actually rip out fur. Like, it's just pointless, in my opinion, to use them. And for me, it's like, why are you getting Brembo brakes installed if you're gonna ask the mechanic to like, well, can you just like tone down the Brembo brakes? No, better to have all the horsepower there, all the brake there so that you could use it. Better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Besides, I don't really think the rubber really tones it down that much. I think it's more of like a visual, make you feel better aesthetic that doesn't really do much of anything anyways, other than cause irritation like I mentioned. All right, now we're gonna cover the most important part, and that's making sure this bad boy is fit properly. I'm gonna make this so simple for you. It's something we call the watch test. We want this thing to be snug like a watch. What do I mean? Well, I got some watches here. You tell me which one is fit proper on my wrist. Option 1, we got this thing that's just free spinning. If I jingle my hands, the whole thing just spins around. Obviously, that's not how we want this thing to fit. So let's take that one off. Now we got 2 options left. We got this one, super snug. It's so snug, in fact, that I can't rotate it. It hurts to rotate. That's not good. So we're gonna take this one off. This one's fit properly, and it's what we say, it stays where we want it, but if I needed to move it, we can move it. With a little bit of effort, we can spin it around, and it's still comfortable. It stays right where I need it. It's not jingling around, jangling around, cutting off circulation, or unnecessarily too tight. Now we'll look at Thanos and show you kind of the same thing. You tell me which one's fit properly. We got this one here that's just jangling and just doing whatever it wants. You already know that's no good. Then we got this black one here, a little hard to see, but I'm gonna show you something. Can I rotate it? No, look at his neck. Look what's happening to his whole neck here. And I'm putting pretty good pressure, so that's not good. I don't want it that tight. Maybe for a super high drive working dog, there might be a reason to go super tight like that. Generally speaking though, most of the dogs we want what we call high and tight, right behind the ears, and watch, it is snug, but I can still move it. I can still rotate it. A little more difficult to do when your dog has a super thick coat, so you're gonna have to just experiment with that. But generally speaking, we want it snug like a watch. Just remember that. Don't do any tests where it's like, well, but you can get 2 fingers. Oh, because I can get 2 fingers. I can also get my whole hand in there. I can get 1 finger. So I don't know where that came from, but the 1, 2, 4 finger test, play that game with your girlfriend. Don't play with that on the prong collar because it doesn't make any sense. Snug like a watch and you'll be a winner. Even if it's perfectly sized, it's not if, but when this thing will fail you, which leads me to another point, what we call double hooking. Now, double hooking is when you take your backup collar, which we like to use Jim Hodges Martingale flat collars, the best Martingale collar on the market. You double hook. Now, what does double hook mean? That means you hook your leash here and you hook your leash here, and should your prong collar fail you, you still got your dog. And that's why we use double hooking. Now, when you do double hook, it can diminish a little bit of the power in your prong collar, so there are other options available, such as little safety links and these little micro leashes that you can get that have 2 hooks on either side, so that you hook one here and you hook one here, and if this fails you, you're still hooked up there. I just like to dumb it down and double hook. That's the way to go, baby. Now, speaking of different ways that you can attach, there's something called dead ringing. Now, dead ringing is when you hook up both rings at the same time, not just the top ring, not the bottom ring, together. You hook them together. I don't like doing it. Never do it. Don't feel the need to it. It kind of dumbs the prong collar down, takes out some of the power, and it puts all the pressure more towards the front rather than all the way around. You're defeating the whole point of having the martingale action. Just stick with the martingale action for the most part. I really never dead ring, but in case you wanted to know, that's what dead ringing is. All right, folks, now that you know which prong collar is right for your dog and how to fit it, now we need to show you how to use it. Now, that's going to take a little bit more time, a little bit more finesse, because there is a whole art and science to it. And it's a huge word of caution here. Do not just put a prong collar on your dog or puppy and start using it. You're absolutely going to destroy the relationship with your dog. Your dog's going to hate the prong collar, and it's going to backfire on you. Instead, I highly encourage you to learn how to do it properly. There's a way you can do that, and that's by checking out our online courses at DIYcanine.com, specifically our Puppy Essentials course and our leash course. It shows you exactly how to properly introduce the prong collar and get your dog to be butter soft, reliable on the leash, get that amazing, reliable obedience that you need, and stop all of that unwanted bad behaviors, whether it's your dog or puppy, jumping, barking, whining, pulling on the leash, etc., etc. We show you exactly how to fix it in our step-by-step guide. So feel free to check it out, DIYcanine.com. Either way, I really want to thank you for joining us here today. Hope you learned something. See you in the next one.